Good day, my maniacs of knowledge, my miscreants of truth. Reginald Von Psycho here, and, well, as you can plainly see, Psycho has yet to return my monocle. I told him it is not proper, it does not a gentleman make without one. But he has promised me that with a few more videos, I will have it back, so hopefully it will not take very long. We shall have the more proper-looking Reginald Von Psycho in front of you, but until then, we have a special treat for you, if you will. There has been a request for me to do a reading, if it were. I do not know exactly what these fan fictions are, but Psycho has provided me with one or two to be able to read from. I do not know, I shall only read bits and pieces of it. In the description below, you shall see a link to whatever fanfiction I shall be reading, and if you enjoy it, be sure to let me know, and I will continue and read more, or if you have others you would wish for me to read, I shall do that as well. But for the first one we shall do, it is dealing with a YouTuber by the name of Markiplier. Now, he is one of Psycho's more favorite ones, but I have not seen anything of him myself, but we shall dive right into it nonetheless and see what we shall see, shall we? So, this is entitled, Where Am I? A Markiplier and PewDiePie fanfic. So you know again, link in the description below will let you know if you wish to continue reading more if I cannot read fast enough for you, but here we are. Mark Fishbach had just finished editing and uploading the last video of the day. Admittedly, he was a bit shaken. Vanish had been requested far too much for him to simply ignore it, and even though he hated the game, he had played it again for his fans. He pushed his chair away from his desk and stood up. Stretching out his arms, he did so. What time was it? 3 a.m.? Wouldn't surprise him. He'd been up this late before. Going to bed now would be going to bed early. Should he really quick Skype with someone? Maybe one of the other YouTubers was still up. Minx never seemed to be go the fuck to bed. She'd probably answer, but did he really want to talk to her? I'm too tired for that, he muttered to himself, trudging through the dark room to the door. His tired gamer fingers felt the doorknob and turned it, throwing it open in a very lazy fashion. His computer room may have been dark, but the living area was brightly lit. He found himself partially blinded by it for a moment, rubbing his eyes behind his glasses. Too bright, he yawned and kicked some of the stuff across the floor as he walked. Place was always a mess. He messed with his hair a bit. It felt funny on his head sometimes. Entering the kitchen, he opened the fridge and grabbed a can of Mountain Dew with bleary eyes. He really needed to go lay down. He was beat. Today's gaming schedule had really worn him out, which wasn't uncommon. I should get some sleep. Can't look too tired to... He was cut off by a hit in the back of his head. Blinding pain shot through his entire body as he staggered forward. His brain was now pounding in his skull. He turned to face his attacker, half blind, only able to see hazy colors and vague outlines of things. All he managed to see was a rather small figure with what he assumed to be a black bat, until another hit in the head dropped him. Darkness swallowed him, and he lost himself to unconsciousness. He didn't know how long it had been when he regained consciousness, but he was strapped to a chair. His head lolled around on his neck as he tried to regain control of his muscles. He groaned softly. His head was pounding, after all. He took a deep breath. Okay, Mark, he thought, you need to calm down and let your body regain control of itself. He rested his head against the back of the chair. Inhaling deeply, his eyes closed. A few moments of this passed until he felt in control. Felt like he could move most of his body. He took one last deep breath before opening his eyes. Dark room. How cliché. He couldn't see very far in front of him, but he did see that there were light coming from the ceiling above him. It was more of a beam illuminating the table in front of his chair. He scowled. Anger replacing confusion, he tugged on the leather straps around his wrists and ankles. thinking back to who and what that figure had been. They weren't very strong. The back of his head wasn't bleeding. It wasn't hurt. Maybe they weren't trying to hurt him, and were actually quite strong. Whoever they were, they were going to pay in blood for this. He grunted as he angrily tried to free his wrists. "You're up," said a cheerful voice. It was a girl. A kid? No, that couldn't be right. What kid would kidnap him? She stepped into the light cast by the inviolable lamp in the ceiling. It was a kid, maybe 15 at most. She had black hair that reached her waist, and a small body, one with relate innocence. What could possibly be going on? You got to get me out of here, okay? Undo these traps. Someone tried to kidnap me, Mark yelled, pleading with the girl. It must be her parents or older brother who kidnapped him, right? Kidnap is such a strong word, Mark. I'm sorry I hit you. I didn't want to, but you picked the wrong can out of the fridge, she sighed, sitting at the table in front of him. What? You attacked me? His eyes went wide. Why? Well, it is a bit of a story. I'm a big fan, Mark. I don't live too far away from you, and it was only a matter of time until I bumped into you around the town. I ran into you at a diner a few months ago, but I didn't have the courage to talk to you. There were too many people around. I was nervous. So I thought, hey, I'll wait outside and talk to him when he leaves. That seemed like a good plan to me, but when you left, there were still people with you. I couldn't let this chance to talk to you slip away, could I? No, I couldn't. She trailed off, looking at the floor. She looked like a kid who had just been busted doing something bad. I followed you home. Don't look at me like that, Mark. My intentions were pure. I just wanted to talk to you, but I didn't have the courage to talk to you just yet. I had to wait. Learn some more about you. I've been a loyal subject of yours for months. She smiled brightly, though with pride. Mark took a deep breath. Speaking through gritted teeth, he asked a question he highly regretted knowing the answer to. What do you know about me? Everything. I know everything about you, Mark. I know when you go to sleep, when you wake up. I know the exact number of hairs you have on your head, how much you weigh, how tall you are. I know your teeth are sensitive to cold, so you don't put more than 3 ice cubes in your drink. I know how many shirts and pairs of pants you have, your breathing patterns when you sleep, and how much movement you have would wake you up. I know where your father lays. I know where your brother lives. I know how long you take in the shower, how long your nails are, and how much blood is in your body. I know everything, she said, proud of herself, looking at him with eyes filled with happiness. She seemed to be looking for praise from him for doing such a good job stalking him. Everything, Mark repeated, lowering his eyes. He was scowling, anger and rage pumping through him. She had counted all the hairs on his head when he slept. She knew where his dad's grave was. She had laid with him in bed without his knowledge. This kid was batshit crazy. If you're embarrassed, I always left whenever you brought a girl back, and whenever you used your computer for purposes other than gaming, she giggled slightly, as Mark turned a bit red. He was more concerned about this psycho of a child and getting out of here. Where am I? Mark practically growled, his eyes snapping up to look at his captor. Just a girl, just a kid. How'd she lose her mind like this? My house, silly! Well, my vacation home. I set this place up a bit ago. You're a bit heavy, you know, but I managed. She was just so damn proud of herself. It was ridiculous. It only made him angrier. I think you'll like it here. I've got a great view of the forest, and it's away from everything, so it's super quiet. I've got really strong internet, so you can still make videos if you're up for it. I moved all your equipment here. Mark considered his options. He could easily overpower the girl, but how would he get out of this chair? He couldn't be here forever. She had to let him up eventually. Did he want to actually kill her or just attack her? What could he do? My name is Edna, by the way. Edna Mullins. Her voice interrupted his thoughts. I hope we can still be friends. I really do. I'll unstrap you now if you promise not to hurt me. She smiled at him, trying to win him over with her childish charm. The sympathy and caring in her eyes nearly got to him. Nearly. I promise, he muttered. Attacking her now wouldn't do him any good. He didn't know if the door was locked, or where he was. He needed her to trust him, and to let her guard down. Then he could escape. Go for help. Okay, I'm going to trust you with this one. If you hurt me, I'll knock you out again. She gently placed her hand on his, the other undoing the strap on his wrist. Her hands were very small, unproportional to her body. He had to really focus on making his muscles less tense. He had to unclench his fists and relax his arm muscles. He forced the angry expression off his face and replaced it with one of discomfort. He was a good actor. He played the part well. It took every bit of self-restraint to not deck the girl right there when she undid the straps. She paused for a moment after she freed his hand, standing still before moving on to his other hand. With his hands free, Edna moved onto his ankles and she knelt down next to his chair. Fiddling with the straps out of his view, Mark exhaled deeply. Am I going to be trapped here? How long can she possibly keep me here? She'll have to leave eventually, won't she? How will she make sure I don't go anywhere? Thoughts raced through his head. Can I get away? Where can I go? She said this is a forest. God knows how long it will take to get back to the civilization. What am I going to do? Left leg was free. That took longer than I thought it would. I secured these ones a bit better, she muttered to herself. He was a bit startled that she wasn't talking to him but to herself. Did she do that a lot? I should get the bracelet. He might try to run away, she muttered to herself. His arms are already undone. I can't leave now, or he might bail. Should I restrap him? I already freed most of him, 75%. I'll have to trust he won't run off for now. He might be able to bash down the door, but by then I'll have the bracelet, and I'll be able to get to him. She muttered to herself. Oh, wait, I got it, she said faintly. Standing up, she walked over to the darker corner of the room and picked up the black bat from before. Sorry, Mark. See you when you wake up. Wait! Don't! He yelled, before the bat cracked the back of his head, and black consumed his vision once more. All right, well, that was Chapter 1. It was a very interesting tale. I do feel sorry for this Mark here, but hopefully you enjoyed that. If you wish to hear more, or if you have another one you wish for me to read, by all means let me know in the comments below, and I shall do so. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to leave a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next video. Oh, wait, where is my hat? Oh, I'm wearing my hat, sorry.